Ersson tonight?
Yes.
Is there any need to have a conversation with him, just stressing not to change his approach to everything that's done this year now that the net is his?
Nope.
Tell us a little about the evolution of the defense. Your 11-7 thing is persisting because they're all playing so well. You had 3D out against the 6-on-5 the other night. Is that just kind of an example of how far that defense has come in terms of its offensive capability?
Yeah, it's the people we thought were playing best at the time, and you make your call during the game. So the players make the call as far as who we put out on the ice there, as far as how they're playing. So that's how we'll go about it.
How important is it to get Jamie Drysdale going now with that goal the other night?
Excuse me?
How good is it to get Jamie Drysdale going now when he had that goal the other night?
Yeah, he's been playing good. He's been good offensively. For players, they always like to score the goal. Yeah, so hopefully, and we don't know a lot about him when things like that happen. Is he streaky? He just hasn't played a lot of hockey because he's been banged up. But he's, I think he's going to fit into the style of play we want to play, and little by little, he's understanding how our coverages work.
Do you see him reaching a comfort level now because of everything he's been through? There's a trade, and then you had the injury before that.
It's a 21-year-old kid.
Yeah.
You know, he's still trying to get himself situated. We ask a lot of him. I think little by little, I think he's been accepted really well by the team. But little by little, the personal stuff he's trying to get figured out.
John, with everything going on, how do you see the team moving forward without Carter?
I'm not answering any questions on Carter or anything dealing with Carter. That's going to belong to the league.
Dropped a couple of games. Tippett's out right now, and you did lose your goaltender. Just in your coaching experience, what do you draw on to keep the guys galvanized and moving forward as far as that goes?
That's one thing about our group. It's a tight group, and it gives other people opportunities to take some of Tip's ice time. And Tip, make no bones about it, that was a huge hole for me, not having him. I've been double shifting him when we've been playing 11 and a 7. He generates so much offense on his own. He drives the offense. So it's a big hole for us, but it gives other people opportunities. And as far as the tightness of the room, and I think it's very important, that's what happens when you lose a few games, is just stay together and try to be the best you can be. We don't even speak on that. I think our room is that solid. You need to respect them and let them take care of some of their business.
As a coach, we talk a lot about the 7 part of the 11-7, but with the 11, is it something where you can sometimes use that to create different matchups, things in a game that can throw the other side off?
It's not so much for me from matchups versus the other team. It's me getting other guys going on our team, or a guy who is going, give him more ice time. Mm-hmm. It creates matchups by itself because you're usually putting them with your third or fourth line, and the other team's top players or checkers aren't out there. But for me, it's just about our team, and like with Tip, I pour him the ice time and he plays better. With Cam Atkinson, he was struggling. I try to get him a few more minutes in that spot. I think that's helped him. So it's basically not worrying about the other team, it's just worrying about our group.
As a coach, with the balance of minutes, sometimes there'll be a guy who does really well in 10, 12 minutes and then move him up and he doesn't do. Like, as a coach, as you've kind of figured out that throughout your career, what have you kind of figured out about how players run and things like that?
Yeah, it's totally individual. As you just said in your question, you never know how it works for players. Like if you pour some ice time to a player, if he's not in shape, you might hurt his game. Other guys are just comfortable in those spots, sometimes in matchups and stuff like that. So it's really a read by the coaching staff, depending on what type of players and team you have.
With Sam, considering how bad the season started, and since November 1st, he's one of the top goaltenders in the league. What are you hoping to see from him now and his growth between now and maybe the end of the year?
Just keep growing. I have full confidence in Sam, just the way he's handled himself mentally and through some tough times early in the year. Last year when he went through some things, he's a solid goalie, and I'm not saying a damn word to him. I trust in how he thinks the game, how he readies himself for games, and we're going to let him go.
Is it impressive? He's only 24, I think. Is it impressive for someone to have that mental fortitude to like put what happened in October behind him?
Yeah, it's always impressed me about Sam, even last year when he first started out there in Carolina. During that game, how he handled himself there. His mindset and his mental toughness has been impressive from the first time I've met him, and just the way he carries himself. So that's not going to be a problem.
I know you coaches are busy and everything, but I know you watch a lot of hockey as well. Aside from your pre-scouts, when you watch the East, what are you seeing in general right now?
As far as the game,
Yeah, the game itself and teams in the East.
I see games that are just full of mistakes. It's where the game has gone to, and we have to evolve as coaches. There are so many mistakes, so many more mistakes made in today's game than back in the day. I think coaches drilled structure into players and turned it, you dotted every I, crossed every T. Now I spend a lot of the game just looking away because there's so many things going on. I said, what happened there? Really, because today's athlete, you can't overcoach them. You can't give them too much information. If you're going to correct all the time, you're going to hurt the player. I think athletes go in cycles. You gotta let them run. You gotta let them go, and bring them back to the rails occasionally here and there. But a lot of times I just turn away and look down the other end because I'm not going to help them if I try to coach and correct every mistake that's made.
Is that the speed of the game or the youth of the game, or what?
Oh, I think it's the dumbness of the game. Yeah, I do. I do. I think it's a league full of skill and speed. I mean, the game's changed. It's a tremendous amount of skill, a tremendous amount of speed, but it is there are so many more mistakes made. And I'm an older coach. I was there at that time, crossing the T's and the I's and overcoaching. I think coaches have evolved. Well, you got to let them play, and I really believe you got to stay out of the way more now than ever to allow these guys to play.
Is it because it's a younger league? Young guys, a lot of young guys making mistakes.
Oh, this is the young guys, old guys. It's just a league that's the way the game is now. Like we laugh, we talk about our breakouts. When I used to have a breakout, we'd throw the puck up the wing, have one guy support underneath, have another guy support underneath that guy. You were all in your end zone trying to break out. Now when you break out, there's a guy in your end zone and everybody's up there. It's totally different. So it's up for the coaches to evolve with the athletes and where the game's gone to as far as the speed and skill.